Hi there and welcome. Just before I go into the main video, I published it today on YouTube, but when I listened to it on my iPhone in the car through the speakers, the music seemed to absolutely blast out, so I've had to delete the original published vlog 6, redo the video, and I've now just put it back on. So apologies for those of you who viewed and commented and subscribed to it. Hopefully you'll find it again. But anyway, in the meantime, hope you enjoy it, and take two. Many thanks. Bye for now. Well, hello and welcome. I have noticed that people that view my vlogs and also have subscribed will have had no experience of either locks or even narrowboats. Some countries wouldn't have that facility available for them. So I thought I would include a few just basic facts about the Oxford Canal, which I travelled up last year. The Oxford Canal, well, they started building it in 1769. It took over 20 years to build. I don't think really because of the difficulties of building it. I think it was more to do with financial restraints. It was originally built to transport coal and stone from the Midlands down to the south and eventually down the Thames to London. The canal itself is approximately 78 miles long with about 46 locks. It was dug, well, you've got to appreciate that this was done all by hand, and the guys that did it were called navigators, and that was shortened to navvies. So now I know where the word navvies comes from. But an experienced navvy was expected to shift per day 12 cubic yards of earth. Now that equates to a 3-foot wide trench by 3 foot deep by 36 foot long. Now I don't know if any of you have done any gardening, but when I've dug a trench to bury a few potatoes in, I think after about a half a dozen shovel loads my back is done in. So I really, my hat's off to them, because I don't know how they managed to shift that much earth in that time. Obviously over that period of time I also noted that there were quite a few deaths, well, work related deaths. So it's a good job we didn't have health and safety back in them days, because I think if we had it then they would have had a field day. I get the impression that health and safety in the 21st century will probably stop you digging trenches for potatoes, but there you are. The other thing that I was really surprised at, actually, there was a lot of animosity between the boaters and the landspeople, I suppose, as each canal went through each village. Yeah, there was quite a lot of animosity between them and the boating fraternity. Then obviously they were working the canals. They had their own language, they had their own way of life, and I think it caused quite a bit of friction. So I was really surprised at that. Bearing in mind that the Oxford Canal is 78 miles long, the average narrowboat, I suppose, does between 3 and 4 miles per hour. So if you round off the figures, you're looking at about 20 hours solid cruising. That's if you could do it lock free, but obviously there are quite a number of locks on the Oxford Canal, which does take quite some time to get through. Now I suppose how energetic you feel, but you're looking at anything between 20 minutes and half an hour per lock. So I suppose from one end of the Oxford Canal to the other, you could do it feasibly, 5-hour cruising every day for just over a week, or perhaps a week. Going back to the financial costs, I did read somewhere, and again it's incredible to imagine that it was expected that every mile only £350 was allocated for the cost of it. So yeah, £350, that's not a lot in today's money, but obviously quite considerably more then. I'm in London at the moment when I'm not at the boat, and I was fascinated to find there were canals south of the Thames. I know that there's canals north of the Thames because you've got the Grand Union and a couple of other canals there, but there are no existing canals south of the Thames. Now, there's a particular bridge that I go over and have been going over for many years without even realising that there was a canal even there, but you can tell by the bridge and the way the layout is that there used to be a canal there. So I'm going to try and sort of delve into that a little bit more and try and find out where these canals were and a little bit of history about them, and maybe I'll come up with a few facts a little bit later. But it's a wonderful way of life, and I wonder how many of us really appreciate the tremendous amount of hard work, the engineering that went into it back into the 1700s and 1800s in building these things. But yeah, it's worth thinking about. Today is Wednesday morning, and just in the distance there's a bridge, and a couple of more bridges further down, probably about 15 minutes I suppose, is Compton Marina, where I'm going to pop in, hopefully do some long overdue laundry. Well, it really is a miserable day, pretty much like the very first day that I left at Hampton Court. I've even got the fire going, just to try and dry out a little bit and get the boat a little bit warm. But just had some cup of tea and a sandwich, so got a bit wet, a bit cold, so I'm just trying to dry off and put my heavy weather gear on, I think. It hasn't stopped raining for most of the nights and all this morning. A really miserable day, but lovely scenery nevertheless.